Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight's headlines. We have official launch of the preparation process for the first new of the towards a decrease in the world pandemic. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the high patronage of His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and in partnership with the United Nations system in Djibouti, the official launch of the preparation process of the first voluntary national review on the follow-up of of the Sustainable Development Goals in Djibouti took place today, March 6, 2022, at the Institute for Diplomatic Studies. The Republic of Djibouti has committed to present its first voluntary national review on the progress in the implementation of the 2013 agenda at the high-level political forums on sustainable development to be held in July 2022 at the HLPF, which meet annually under the auspices of the Economic and Social Council. Is the main UN platforms on sustainable development and plays a central role in the follow-up and review of the 2013 Agenda for Sustainable Development under the development and the Sustainable Development Goals at the global level. In 2022, the team is building back better after COVID-19 pandemic while advancing the implementation of the 2013 Agenda for Sustainable Development. In his speech, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, highlighted the main points of the first voluntary national review on the progress made in the implementation of the 2013 Agenda. This meeting also has a crucial role is in providing longer-term guidance in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, identifying achievement, challenges, and critical success factor. The exercises involves an open, inclusive, and participatory approach by all stakeholders, including government authorities, civil society, the private sector, academia, and national international NGOs, and this in order to inform decision-making for sustainable development. Indeed, the national ownership is essential for the achievement of sustainable development, and the launch of this process is a clear demonstration of the willingness of the Republic of Djibouti to become one of the main actors for the achievement of the sustainable development goals in the region. We have the statement from the Attorney General, a final report of the audit missions of the General State Inspectorate on the situations of public expenditure at the 31 December 2021 was transmitted to the Public Prosecutor's Office on 1st March 2022. This report established that the Ministry of Budget has squandered the public fund made available to it to cover the expenses of the state by mobilizing large sum of money for non-priority and future services which seem to be fictitious and for the most part. The report highlighted significant budgetary overruns of the Ministry of Budget compared to the credit voted in the finance law for the year 2021. In the category of expenses, use of goods, services, several billion expenses have been committed and mandated recurrent and unjustified orders to the some suppliers for renovation work of the same building of the Ministry of Budget, or acquisitions of construction materials, furniture, computer equipment, and other goods of current consumptions for the account of the Ministry of Budget for exorbitant amount of several billion Djibouti francs. An investigation was immediately opened by the public prosecutors, who says that the gendarmerie's research sections on the 2 March 2022 the arrest of Mr. Farah Mohammed Usman, Deputy Director of Materials at the Ministry of Budget, and Mr. Sahal Saeed Awale, Director of the General Treasury, was followed by the arrest of several local traders and other persons who were revealed by the investigation. The investigation confirmed that the existence of a fraudulent arrangement between certain traders and officials of the Ministry of Budget for the embezzlement of several billion Djibouti franc from the National Treasury. The two officials of the Ministry of Budget arrested have directly implicated the former Minister of Budget Abdul Karim Adencher as the main instigator of this fraudulent system. Mr. Abdul Karim Adencher was therefore arrested and taken into the custody for the purpose of the investigation. In addition, several traders have admitted to the charges against them and have already reimbursed the amount unduly collected. Several hundred of million Djibouti franc have been received, and many properties and vehicles fraudulently acquired have been seized. Many investigations remain to be carried out, and after the investigation, all those involved will be brought before the prosecutor's office so that the judicial investigation can be opened in accordance with the law. On the morning of Sunday, 6 March 2022, in the presence of the Ministry of City, Urbanism and Housing, Ms. Amina Abdi Aden, the signing ceremony of the partnership agreement between Urban Rehabilitation and Housing Agency, Arulos, and the Bank for Commerce and Industry, Red Sea, BCIMR, was held in the premises of the Ministry of City, Urbanism and Housing. This partnership agreement aims at setting the general framework for the framework of partnership between Arulos and BCMR for the implementation of an affordable financing mechanism for all the projects for the benefit of the first-time buyers, and in particular the marketing and financing of the acquisitions of the flats of the Daria residents carried out by Arulos on the financing of the Saudi Fund for Development through the National Investment Program. Thus, during the conventions, the Director General of Arulos, Abdurrahman Ali Ahmed, the General Manager of BCMR, Regis Pariac, signed the partnership agreement, which materializes the willingness of both parties to collaborate together for the implementation of the preferential financing modalities for the benefits of Djiboutian households with the average incomes and wanting to acquire decent housing. For her part, the Minister of City, Urbanism and Housing, Amina Abdi Aden, recalled the priority of the government to remove the obstacles and difficulties of access to housing finance for a large majority of households with low or average income and solvent to access to property. The President of the Chamber of Commerce, Yusuf Musa Dawale, received it this morning along with elected officials of the institution, including Warsama Saeed, the second Vice President, Arafo Saleh, the first Secretary, and important Egyptian delegations led by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Sherif Issa. This delegation, composed of, and among others, the Egyptian ambassador to Djibouti, representative of Industrial and Trade Associations, is currently on a working visit to our country. This visit to the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, in contact with the national businesses community, was aimed at exchanging on ways and means to achieve a stronger commercial partnership between the two countries. Egypt, a major producer and exporter on the continent, is keen to expand its exports to the Djibouti market, particularly in the food industries and fresh fruit and vegetables, as well as their investment in our country. Still in the news part of the country, the UNFD continued its program to promote essential social practices, particularly community dialogue for the protections of children against female genital mutilations, organized by the women's community of the Balbala 12 neighborhood. This meeting brought together many women to raise awareness about the harmful practices of the female genital mutilation, particularly among young girls. One of the active women of the Balbala 12 neighborhood, Ms. Aisha Ahmed Dimbio, took the floor to explain the danger of the female genital mutilations represent for the health of young girls, some of whom suffer the consequences for a long time. As the holy month of Ramadan approaches, the Ministry of Trade and Tourism has intensified its file control operations in the recent weeks in order to observe firsthand the evolutions of prices of basic foodstuffs. According to the Ministry of Trade, the prices of some basic foodstuffs such as cooking oil have increased. The Ministry of Commerce, in collaboration with the private sectors, will take all necessary measures to limit the effects of these inflations on the purchasing power of Djiboutian households. According to the Ministry of Commerce, food stocks will be controlled to prevent any shortages. The COVID-19 pandemic continued to decline this week with 1.47 million cases of infections per day worldwide. Even through the month, the World Health Organization is still calling for caution. The number of the infections has therefore halved since the peak at the end of January, when there were 3.37 million daily cases. The situation is clearly improving in all regions, 47% in the Middle East, 14% in the Latin American Caribbean, and 34% in Africa, 23% in USA, Canada, and 22% in Europe. This is the only areas where the situation is less clear and are Asia and Oceania with 25% and 72% more infections respectively compared to the previous week. As for deaths worldwide, the downward trend continues with this 7,596 deaths per day, or 19%. An important indicator is that the number of the diagnosed cases reflect only a fraction of the actual number of infection, and comparison between countries should be made with the caution as testing policies differ greatly from one country to another. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening, and let's follow the special news with Dini Musa.